Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. The seventh and last phase of polling underway with 57 constituencies from 8 states and union territories, including Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, voting today. US President Joe Biden unveils new Gaza truce proposal, says it's time for this war to end. Hamas responds positively. Former US President Donald Trump calls hush money trial a scam, vows to appeal against the historic guilty verdict, while Biden says the verdict shows no one is above the law. South Africa heading for coalition as ruling African National Congress vote share falls, set to lose majority for the first time in 30 years of democracy. No respite from scorching heat in sight as India reels under intense heat wave. Heat stroke kills 54 in parts of the country. Wildfire intensifies. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is meditating at Vivekanand Rock Memorial in Tamil Nadu's Kanyakumari. The Prime Minister started his 45-hour meditation on 30th of May. The Prime Minister on Thursday evening started his 45-hour long meditation at the Vivekanand Rock Memorial in Tamil Nadu's Kanyakumari. After wrapping up his hectic Lok Sabha election campaign, the Prime Minister reached the Rock Memorial by ferry service. He started his meditation that will go on till 1st of June, that is today. It will culminate today. He is meditating at the Dhyan Mandapam. Now, this is the same spot where Swami Vivekanand had meditated in 1892, in fact, to get a clear vision of the future of the country. It is also the meeting point of the Indian Ocean, the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea, the Vivekanand Rock Memorial. The Prime Minister is meditating in front of the statue of philosopher Saint Swami Vivekanand. And now we turn focus to get you the latest on the world's largest election in India. Polling is underway for the seventh and the final phase of India's parliamentary elections. Voters across 57 constituencies in 8 states and union territories are eligible to exercise their franchise. Voting is taking place in all the 13 seats of Punjab, 4 in Himachal Pradesh, 13 constituencies of Uttar Pradesh, 9 in West Bengal, 8 in Bihar, 6 in Odisha and 3 seats in Jharkhand, besides the union territory of Chandigarh. The voting began at 7 a.m. and will continue till 6 p.m. local time. Polling for the remaining 42 assembly constituencies of Odisha State Legislative Assembly is also taking place simultaneously. Counting of votes will take place on 4th of June. As the largest festival of India's democracy is set to conclude with the final phase of polling today, the political fate of prominent leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Minister and BJP leader Anurag Singh Thakur and Congress leader Vikramaditya Singh, also TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee among others, will be decided in this phase. All right, let's get more inputs from our reporters who have been stationed in different parts of the country. Vishal Barrister is joining us from Kolkata and Akshay Dongre is joining us from Manali. Vishal, coming to you first. 9 seats in West Bengal go to polls today. Let us get more from you. How has been the voting since morning? It's close to being 3 hours since voting began. Get us the latest on the voting percentage first.
Well, a very good morning to you, Preeti. And Bengal has always been the front runner as far as the voting percentage is concerned. Fifth phase it was 73, sixth phase it went up to 80%. So this time also, which is the last phase, Bengal wants to be there on the top position. Let me ask my cameraman to show you. I'm here at the Commerce College in Damdam area of Kolkata. Let me ask my cameraman to show you these are the long queues, now 50 meters on both sides, and this is just the entrance of the modern polling station. We have 3 polling booths inside. People have come out in large numbers, and they've been coming out even at 6:30 in the morning. I saw long queues outside the polling booths. So Bengal is very much excited and also very much interested as far as their voting rights are concerned, and very much concerned also. When we talk about the issues, there are not many issues because 42 seats are up for grabs, and both TMC and the BJP want to grab the major portion, and the victory of Bengal would decide the fate of the BJP as well, and also the TMC. The issues are corruption as raised by the BJP, unemployment, and also industrialization, lack of industrialization in the state. And then you have the issue of women's security. Remember how BJP literally blew up the case of Sandesh Khali, and they have been very vocal about this issue as far as West Bengal is concerned. So it is yet to be seen what is the result from West Bengal, which would come out on the 4th. But as far as the excitement of the people is concerned, well, Bengal is up there on the top. Preeti?
All right, Vishal, I take that forward to Akshay Dongre, who's there in Manali. Akshay, how are the people in the hill state turning out to vote today? The 4 seats in Himachal Pradesh go to polls today. Get us the latest on the voter turnout so far.
A very good morning to you, Preeti, and to all of our viewers, to my senior colleague Vishal Baristo as well, who is reporting from Kolkata. And in fact, as I heard Vishal speaking about West Bengal being the front runner in the polling percentage, perhaps this time it is to be unseated by the state where I am right now, Himachal Pradesh, because as of now, the highest number of voting percentage has taken place in Himachal Pradesh of about 14.35% up. In the morning at about 9 a.m. This was the approximate voting numbers that the Election Commission of India has published. This is more than what Bengal, in fact, has voted for as well. That is about 12.63%. So let me show you around where I am right now. This is perhaps one of the highest polling booths where we are standing right now. This is in the valley of Manali, and as you can see, pristine mountains covering this polling booth where the polling is taking place. The villagers enthusiastically coming here, casting their ballot, all preparations in place, everything happening peacefully. The polling percentage goes on to show that how excited Himachal Pradesh is right now. In fact, out of all the other states in the country, Himachal has the highest number of polling percentage, voter turnout so far at 14.35%, with the highest being recorded in Shimla out of the 4 constituencies at over 15% till 9 a.m. in the morning. This may also have to do with the climate as well, Preeti, because it's quite cold here. It's not so much of a heat factor that is playing early in the morning. As you can see on my left hand side, elderly voters are here on my left hand side. Then there are young voters that have been coming here in these valleys to cast their votes. And it's not just the weather factor in the hills, it's also the topography factor that people are defying, coming in from all parts of the state and the constituencies to cast their ballot. Many of them also have to, go for treks, in fact, to reach their polling booths. But still, they are quite enthusiastic about casting their ballot and exercising their right.
All right, so enthusiasm witnessed both in Kolkata and in Himachal Pradesh. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining in with those details. And as India's general elections move to the last phase of voting, my colleague Antara Sinha's Election Digest report delves into the intricacies of electronic voting machine counting, a cornerstone of the democratic process in the world's largest democracy. Take a look.
Welcome to the last edition of Election Digest. This segment has covered most aspects of Election Commission of India and India's general elections. Now, as India heads into the last phase of polling for India's general elections, we are here to discuss on a very intriguing topic, vote counting. So how is your vote counted? how is the whole process taking place? Let's find out. At the close of poll, the close button on the control unit of the EVM is pressed. The total votes polled in the electronic voting machines are noted and the close cap is refixed. And the EVM is then switched off. The cable is disconnected and the EVM is sealed and moves to counting centers. As polling concludes and the EVMs are sealed, under the watchful eyes of the election observers, the specialized and dedicated counting officials start the crucial job of counting EVM ballots. Upon arrival at the counting center, the sealed EVMs are verified for any signs of tampering or damage. The counting process begins with the opening of the control unit of each EVM. The total number of votes recorded in the control unit is noted and compared to the number of votes cast as per the records of the presiding officer. After verifying the control unit, the ballot unit of the EVM is opened. Each vote recorded in the ballot unit is counted and the count is cross-verified with the total number of votes recorded in the control unit. Once the counting is completed for each EVM, the total votes counted are juxtaposed with the total votes cast in the polling station. Any discrepancies are addressed and resolved in the presence of election officials and party representatives. The results from all EVMs used in a constituency are compiled to determine the total votes secured by each candidate. Once all the votes are counted and verified, the Election Commission of India officially declares the results. Well, under extreme scrutiny, security and oversight, the EVM counting process takes place and completes. Well, that is all in this edition of Election Digest.
As India is celebrating the polling day as a festival, local artists performed traditional dance to welcome voters at a polling booth set up in Lucknow, Anandpur Sahib, Punjab, urging all the eligible voters to cast their votes. All 13 parliamentary constituencies of the state are going to polls today. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, as the nation witnesses the last phase of polling today, we at DD India get you the latest poll pulse from across the country. Relief from heatwave finally in sight as southwest monsoon arrives in Kerala. Buzzing celebration for beekeepers and honey lovers. They encourage everyone to enjoy and buy locally grown honey.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
Welcome back after the break. We're watching DD Indian News Hour and I'm Preeti. Continuing with election updates, many prominent leaders came early to exercise their franchise. Sikkim Governor Lakshman Prasad Acharya cast his vote for the final phase of Lok Sabha elections at a polling station in Ramnagar, Varanasi. Union Minister and BJP candidate from Hamirpur Lok Sabha seat, Anurag Singh Thakur, cast his vote at a polling station in Hamirpur. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath cast his vote at a polling booth in Gorakhpur. BJP President JP Nadda cast his vote at a polling booth in Bilaspur in Himachal Pradesh. BJP candidate from Amritsar Taranjeet Singh Sandhu cast his vote at a polling booth in the constituency. BJP candidate from Mandi Lok Sabha, Kangana Ranaut, also cast her vote at a polling station in Mandi. BJP candidate from Gorakhpur, Ravi Kishan, cast his vote for the 7th phase of polling. RJD Chief Lalu Prasad Yadav, Rabri Devi and their daughter and party candidate from Saran Lok Sabha seat, Rohini Acharya, cast their vote in Patna. All right, Deepika Mehta is joining us from Varanasi and Akansha Saxena is joining us from Chandigarh to get us a sense of how voting has picked up. Akansha, coming to you first. You're there in the Union Territory of Chandigarh. Get us a sense of how has been the voter turnout so far since morning.
Somewhere around 6.5 lakh voters from Chandigarh are going to be deciding the fate of 19 candidates who are in the fray this time. And when we came to the polling booth, so the officials were telling that the people were queuing up right from 6:15 a.m. in the morning, and in the morning we saw that there was a good turnout of voters, and till now also we can see that there are many voters who are coming because it is very hot these days, so people are choosing to vote in the mornings more. And if we talk about all the arrangements, keeping in view the heat wave, the district administration has done all the appropriate arrangements to keep people away from the heat. And there are 55 model booths which have been set up, and yes, there are some of the booths which are being set up according to the architectural heritage of Chandigarh, like Rock Garden, the roundabouts. So there are some of the booths which are just specially there for the women, for the young voters and for the disabled.
All right, Akansha. So impressive voter turnout has been witnessed since morning. I'll take that forward to Deepika, who's joining us from Varanasi. Deepika, how has been the turnout of the voters in Varanasi? Get us the latest on the voter percentage so far, the voter turnout.
Preeti, in Varanasi, when we talk about the voter turnout percentage, it is 12.66% as of 9 a.m. and we will get the next update on 11:30 a.m. But right now, considering the scorching heat, the sun is again very hard, and here the voter turnout is now, the voters are slowly coming in to cast their vote. However, still I would request my camera person to show you the visuals of inside the polling booth, because considering the heat, there are many arrangements which have been made continuously. You can see the visuals inside there. There's a long line inside, and all the voters are there who are queuing up to cast their vote. And apart from that, not only the booths are decorated, but there are special arrangements which have been made, like the water dispensers are there, and also for the police officials, they are providing ORS sachets, water bottles, so that no exigency takes place here across all the polling stations. If we talk about, there are more than 3,000 polling stations in Varanasi, out of which are 7 are meant for youth, 7 are meant only women-led booths, and apart from that, there are 19 lakh voters, out of which 3,600 are first-time voters. So considering the importance of it, the request from the government side is also on a continuous basis. There was a morning tweet also which we saw by Prime Minister Narendra Modi urging all the voters to come out and exercise their right, and we can see a continuous influx of all the voters. We can see right now also many voters are still coming in. There's a long line inside. We cannot go inside because there is a security protocol that we also have to follow. But considering the voting percentage right now, which is 12.99%, this will increase by the next update, which will come at 11:30 a.m. And I think after that it will slow down because of the scorching sun, and then there would be a greater influx from 4 p.m. onwards, Preeti.
All right. So more or less impressive turnout has been witnessed there in Chandigarh and in Varanasi as well. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining in with those details and the latest update. And Varanasi, talking of Varanasi, it witnessed the walk-in of large number of voters right from the start of the morning. Some came from outside the city to specially cast their vote. Deepika Mehta brings us this exclusive interaction with first-time voters who also appeal to the voters to create a new record this time around.
We have a female first-time voter with us who's come all the way from Mathura to cast her vote in Varanasi. Samriddhi, are you excited to go and vote?
Yeah, very excited.
This is your first time.
Yeah.
What are your plans? How excited are you?
Actually, from the first day when I got to know that I'll be casting vote, I was very excited to come. I was asking my father that what's the date, my exams are not clashing and all. So I was very excited to know.
And Samriddhi, any message that you want to give out to the first-time voters?
Yeah, I want to ask everyone to come and cast vote. I know it's quite hot, but you should come and vote.
This is your first time.
Yeah.
How excited are you?
I'm very excited. I wanted to see how to cast the vote, how to press that button, how the things happen. So I'm very, very excited.
There are around 3,500 voters, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself sent a letter to all the first-time voters also. What exactly message do you want to give to the people there who are yet to come to vote?
Yeah. Only thing I want to say is that every vote matters. If you think that hum nahi aayenge, koi baat nahi, sab log de rahe, everybody will think like that. So please go out and vote.
Now let me take you through the long and lengthy line which is already queued up outside the polling booth. There are at least 5 lines here spread across in this particular booth, and you can see the large number of voters, the large number of female voters, the large number of first-time voters who are continuously coming in to cast their vote and appealing others also to come out in large numbers and do cast their vote. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Varanasi.
And DD India correspondent Deepika Mathur also caught up with senior citizens who shared their experiences and expectations.
Colorful visuals are coming in from the polling stations across Varanasi. We have with us a few senior citizens also who've come here in large numbers to cast their vote in the first half of the morning itself. Sir, how excited are you to cast your vote?
Yeah, pretty excited, yes.
You've also come in the morning itself. How excited are you?
I'm very excited.
And also, when we talk about the sun, it is really hot and humid, but still the voting is going on. What do you have to say about the preparation?
Preparations are excellent, well received. Yeah, it's good.
सब आए वोट करें और बहुत अच्छी व्यवस्था भी यहाँ की बहुत बढ़िया है.
So there you heard how excited the people are. We can see happy faces. We can see so many colors here outside the polling station who are all set to cast their vote. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Varanasi.
All right, from the state of Uttar Pradesh, we turn focus to the eastern Indian state of West Bengal, which is set to maintain the high voting percentage in the 7th phase of parliamentary elections as well. 9 seats are up for grabs in the last phase in the state. DD India correspondent Vishal Baristow caught up with a first-time voter and her mother in Kolkata. Let's listen in.
I'm here in Motilal Girls Government School in Kolkata. I have with me a first-time voter along with her mother. Let's talk to her and first talk about her excitement. How excited are you?
Actually very excited because it was my first time. I have never experienced this.
Can we see that mark of your excitement on the camera? Yes, there she is proudly showing her finger and she is with her mother.
Yeah, we are very much excited because it's a crucial election this year.
Okay, it's a crucial election this year. So what was the issue in your mind when you came out to vote?
We are the next generation, so it is our duty to select the most important and the nominal who will be there to support us and for our needs and for the betterment of our future.
So there you hear the youngster, she says that she has voted for the candidate who will cater to her needs and aspirations who could fulfill the aspirations of the youth here. With cameraman Piyush in Kolkata, this is Vishal Baristow for DD India.
All right, changing track to other news now. Several states of the country are reeling under severe heat wave. Maharashtra's Nagpur showed abnormally high temperatures on Friday. The Indian Met Department issued a red alert for severe heat wave conditions in many parts of Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, Bihar, Odisha and Jharkhand. Over 50 people have reportedly died due to heat stroke in different parts of the country. As monsoon started its northwards movement, the state of Kerala is currently receiving heavy rainfall in isolated regions. Orange alert was in place, denoting very heavy rainfall in two districts, that is Idukki and Kozhikode. Many roads were affected due to local landslides in the district. In Ernakulam also, heavy rainfall is still continuing, creating severe waterlogging in the areas like Aluva. Yellow alert is issued for 5 districts, predicting heavy rainfall. High tidal wave is also forecast for Kerala coast till today midnight. Ajay Joy is joining us from Trivandrum. Ajay, good morning. Get us the latest on the situation there, because we tell our viewers that orange alert and yellow alerts have been issued in Kerala. Get us more as to how has the day begun today in Kerala.
Yeah, here monsoon is advancing northward towards central Kerala and North Kerala. It has caused heavy rainfall as right now, South Kerala is relatively free. It's only very light rain is expected throughout South Kerala, but in north side and the central side, heavy rainfall reported in isolated places, especially regions like Idukki and Ernakulam right now is receiving heavy rainfall. There were many incidents of landfall, mudslips, etc. From Idukki yesterday, obstructing the traffic between important localities inside the districts. But right now, there is a respite right now, but still many roads remain blocked due to the hubris out of these landslides. Right now, rain is still continuing in Ernakulam, in regions like Aluva, etc. Heavy rainfall is still there. Waterlogging persists even right now. In some districts, especially hilly districts like Idukki, district administration has issued a travel ban, especially during the night in these hilly tracks. So that's how state is responding right now to monsoon. But relatively, South Kerala is dry today. That's what we assume. Yellow alert, but yellow alert is in place for 5 to 6 districts. But any time yellow alert changes to orange alert, that happened yesterday, and especially districts of Idukki and Kozhikode was badly affected with several incidents of mudslides, landslips, etc.
All right, Ajay, we leave it here. Thank you for joining in with those details. And turning focus to the forest fires in Uttarakhand that have flared up again in various parts of the state, with 2 major fire incidents in the Gohari range of the Rajaji Tiger Reserve and the trek route to Neelkant Mahadev Temple in Rishikesh. Fire incidents in 11 areas affecting more than 13 hectares of forest land across the state have been reported. Himachal Forest Department officials pointed out that in the past week, nearly 100 forest fires have been reported in and around the state capital Shimla. This is a popular summer getaway for tourists from across the country, especially north and northwestern regions, posing a significant threat to both wildlife and human habitation. Let's take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India now. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's interim bail relief ends today. He is supposed to surrender in Tihar jail on 2nd of June. The Supreme Court on May 10th granted interim bail to the Delhi Chief Minister in the Delhi liquor policy case to campaign for the Lok Sabha elections 2024. The Delhi Bharatiya Janata Party staged a protest on Friday against Aam Aadmi Party government over the water crisis in the national capital. Delhi is facing an acute water shortage, with AAP government accusing Haryana of not releasing Delhi's share of water. BJP, on the other hand, has blamed AAP government for the water crisis. On the occasion of International Honey Day, Honey Utsav was organized in India's Nainital Raj Bhavan. The day aims to strengthen measures aimed at protecting bees and other pollinators, which would significantly contribute to solving problems relating to global food supply. It also encourages everyone to enjoy and buy locally grown honey. A short break ahead, but after the break, Mexico gears up for presidential election marred by a record number of candidate assassinations. People in the Texan town of Lufkin taken by surprise to have a unique visitor amongst them. The countdown is on for a second attempt to launch Boeing's Starliner cruise ship.
the marriage between tech and tradition is what farmers need across the globe. Tech shows us ways to deal with new challenges in a world, while traditional knowledge and varieties show us how to withstand these challenges.
Some people in society look negatively at a woman if she steps outside of her home.
Do you know 700 different crop problems on 30 different crops? Diagnostic, that's tough for a human to do.
Big food manufacturers are getting like the biggest share. Farmers and farm workers, which are like in the bottom of this value chain.
When a volcanic eruption injects ash, dust and gases into the atmosphere, into the stratosphere, they form sulfate aerosols, which the Earth's rotation helps spread around the globe.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that's...
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD Indian News Hour and I'm Preeti. Let's get a quick relook at the top stories once again. 7th and last phase of polling underway with 57 constituencies from 8 states and union territories, including Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, voting today. Former US President Donald Trump calls hush money trial a scam, vows to appeal against the historic guilty verdict, while Biden says the verdict shows no one is above the law. US President Joe Biden unveils new Gaza truce proposal, says it's time for this war to end. Hamas responds positively. Donald Trump would appeal against the guilty verdict that made him the first US president convicted of a crime. Trump repeated his complaints at the Trump Tower lobby in Manhattan that the trial was a rigged attempt to hobble his comeback, White House bid, and also warned that it showed no American was safe from politically motivated prosecution. Trump was found guilty of 34 criminal counts of falsifying documents to cover up a hush money payment to an adult star in 2016 election in which he defeated Democrat Hillary Clinton.
We're going to be appealing it on many different things. He wouldn't allow us to have witnesses. He wouldn't allow us to talk. He wouldn't allow us to do anything. And when we wanted to do things, he wouldn't let us do those things. But when the government wanted something, they got everything. They got everything they wanted. It was a rigged trial.
While Democratic President Joe Biden said that Trump had been given an opportunity to defend himself in the same justice system that applies to all the Americans. He said the guilty verdict in Donald Trump's hush money trial proved that no one is above the law.
The American principle that no one is above the law was reaffirmed. Donald Trump was given every opportunity to defend himself. It was a state case, not a federal case. And it was heard by a jury of 12 citizens, 12 Americans, 12 people like you, like millions of Americans who served on juries. This jury is chosen the same way every jury in America is chosen. It was a process that Donald Trump's attorney was part of. The jury heard 5 weeks of evidence, 5 weeks. And after careful deliberation, the jury reached a unanimous verdict.
Thursday's guilty verdict has thrown the United States into unexplored territory. Trump's July 11th sentencing comes just days before the Republican Party is due to formally nominate him as its presidential candidate at its convention in Milwaukee. Trump will have 30 days from the date of his July 11th sentencing to file a notice of appeal. The appeal is likely to focus on the adult star Stormy Daniels' salacious testimony, as well as the novel legal theory prosecutors used in the case. It is unlikely any appeal would be resolved before November 5th election. Legal experts such as Abby Smith of Georgetown Law said that Donald Trump's near certain appeal of his historic conviction on criminal charges in New York faces long odds.
So, usually you think about a bunch of different things in contemplating whether an appeal is viable. Here, I think any good defense appellate lawyer would take a look at the statute and would raise questions about whether the statute itself under which Mr. Trump was prosecuted might be unconstitutionally void, or as the term is usually used in criminal law, void for vagueness.
Supporters of former President Donald Trump have flooded social media with images of upside-down American flags in protest of his historic guilty verdict. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and country music singer Jason Aldean were among the prominent Americans to display the inverted flag, a symbol of distress for protest in America for over 200 years now. US President Joe Biden has unveiled a three-phase Israeli proposal to end the conflict in Gaza. Speaking at the White House on Friday, Biden said that the proposal would comprise of three phases, which include a full and complete ceasefire, withdrawal of IDF forces from populated areas, and the exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners.
Israel has offered a comprehensive new proposal. It's a roadmap to an enduring ceasefire and the release of all hostages. This proposal has been transmitted by Qatar to Hamas. This new proposal has three phases. The first phase would last for 6 weeks. Here's what it would include: a full and complete ceasefire, a withdrawal of Israeli forces from all populated areas of Gaza, release of a number of hostages, including women, the elderly, the wounded, in exchange for release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners.
The US president called on Hamas terrorists to agree to the Israeli proposal on Gaza conflict, saying this is the most effective way to end the ongoing conflict.
If Hamas fails to fulfill its commitments under the deal, Israel can resume military operations. But Egypt and Qatar have assured me, and they are continuing to work to ensure that Hamas doesn't do that. The United States will help ensure that Israel lives up to their obligations as well. It's time to begin this new stage. For the hostages to come home, for Israel to be secure, for the suffering to stop. It's time for this war to end, for the day after to begin.
The new proposal outlined by Biden on Friday consists of three phases. The first phase would involve a 6-week ceasefire, during which Israeli forces would withdraw from Gaza and hostages, including the elderly and women, would be exchanged for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Palestinian civilians would return to Gaza, including northern Gaza, and 600 trucks would deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza daily. In the second phase, Hamas and Israel would negotiate the terms of a permanent end to hostilities. Also, Hamas has meanwhile released a statement reacting positively on Gaza truce proposal. Hamas said that it was ready to deal positively and constructively with any proposal based on a permanent ceasefire, full withdrawal from the Gaza Strip, reconstruction, return of the displaced to all their places of residence, and the completion of a serious prisoner exchange deal. In a sign of support for Israel, leaders of the Democratic-led U.S. Senate and of the Republican-led House of Representatives on Friday invited Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to address a joint meeting of Congress. The letter inviting Netanyahu was signed by Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson, Democratic Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and Senate Republican Leader Mitch McConnell and House Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries. The letter, however, did not propose a date for the speech. Addresses to joint meetings of Congress by foreign leaders are a rare honor generally reserved for the closest U.S. allies or major world figures. Netanyahu has already given 3 such addresses, most recently in 2015. This speech would make Netanyahu the first foreign leader to address joint meetings of Congress 4 times. He is currently tied at 3 with Britain's wartime Prime Minister Winston Churchill. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has welcomed the development. In a post on social media platform X, the UN chief said that the world has witnessed too much suffering and destruction in Gaza. He said, and I quote him, "I welcome US President Joe Biden's initiative and encourage all parties to seize this opportunity for a ceasefire, release of all hostages, guaranteed unhindered humanitarian access, and ultimately a durable peace in the Middle East." US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin on Saturday tried to refocus attention on China's threat in the Indo-Pacific, seeking to alleviate concerns that conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza have detracted from America's security commitments in Asia. Austin, who was speaking at the annual Shangri-La Dialogue Security Summit in Singapore, met his Chinese counterpart Dong Zhan on Friday in a bid to cool friction over issues from Taiwan to China's military activity in the South China Sea. Japanese Defense Minister Minoru Kihara and his Chinese counterpart Dong Zhan held bilateral talks on Saturday on the sidelines of the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore. Speaking to Dong during the meeting, Kihara addressed the security concerns over China's increasing military activities in the sea and airspace surrounding Japan. The Shangri-La Dialogue Security Summit in Singapore runs till Sunday, and Kihara will deliver a speech in a plenary session about the regional security and challenges on Saturday. Let's turn focus to South Africa now. South African parties geared up for coalition talks as the governing African National Congress looked set to fall well short of a majority for the first time in 30 years of democracy. While the party of the late Nelson Mandela looked likely to remain the largest political force after Wednesday's election, voters appear to have punished the former liberation movement for years of economic decline, which has left many in poverty. With results in from nearly 70% of polling stations, the ANC had voted 41.8% of the votes, a precipitous drop from the 57.5% it secured in the last national election in 2019. The ANC had won every previous national election since the historic 1994 vote that ended white minority rule. But over the last decade, South Africans have watched the economy stagnate, unemployment and poverty climb and infrastructure crumble, leading to regular power outages. Mexico is going to elections on Sunday, which is going to be the bloodiest in its modern history after a candidate running for local office in central Puebla state was murdered on Friday at a political rally. The total number of assassinated candidates has reached 37 ahead of Sunday's vote. Jorge Huerta Cabrera, a candidate who was running for a council seat in the town of Izúcar de Matamoros, was gunned down in the attack. From Mexico, let's get you an update on the UK elections now. Britain's opposition Labour Party has said that Diane Abbott, country's first black female lawmaker, would be able to run in the July 4th election, ending speculation over her candidacy. Labour Party leader Keir Starmer on Friday said that Diane Abbott was free to contest her seat in northeast London. Abbott had been suspended by the party for over a year after she said that Jewish, Irish and traveller people did not face racism all their lives. She was reinstated to the party this week after she apologized for her remarks. However, media reports claim that she would be barred from contesting, raising questions about her future in the Labour Party. The countdown is on for a second attempt to launch Boeing's Starliner cruise ship on Saturday. Starliner's debut crewed mission was derailed earlier this month by a small helium leak detected in its propulsion system hours before its launch from Florida. Starliner's long-awaited first crewed flight with NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore on board is a final test mission before NASA can certify the spacecraft for routine astronaut trips to and from the International Space Station. All right, a quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world now. Patients at a children's medical center in California had fun with some exotic visitors from SeaWorld on Thursday. Penelope, a baby kangaroo, joined Spike, an alligator. They visited the Children's Care Center to brighten the days of ambulatory and bedridden young patients. Wembley Stadium in London was draped in the colours of the Champions League final on Friday as it was being prepared to host the showpiece event on June 1st. Thousands of fans have already arrived at the UK capital, eagerly anticipating the match, with many stories just about to be written. The quiet Texan town of Lufkin was taken by surprise on Sunday by the sight of an escaped kangaroo hopping on local streets. The police eventually managed to reunite the kangaroo with its owners, who had accidentally left the gate of its enclosure open, allowing it to wander off. A surprise visitor there. Up next, we're heading for a short break. But after the break, Indian boxer Nishan Dev becomes the first Indian male boxer to qualify for 2024 Paris Olympic Games. In Champions League final, 14-time winner Real Madrid will take on Borussia Dortmund. World is celebrating Milk Day today, a day to bring the importance of milk as a global food to the forefront.
After a grueling campaign, after exhausting bowling spanning 7 phases, the stage is set for the counting day, the grand finale of the largest electoral exercise ever. DD India is all decked up and ready, counting of votes for India's general elections. Accurate and fast results, in-depth analysis with experts and reporters everywhere. Only on DD India, 4th June, 6 a.m. onwards.
The marriage between tech and tradition is what farmers need across the globe. Tech shows us ways to deal with new challenges in our world, while traditional knowledge and varieties show us how to withstand these challenges.
Some people in society look negatively at a woman if she steps outside of her home.
Do you know 700 different crop problems on 30 different crops? Diagnostic, that's tough for a human to do.
Big food manufacturers are getting like the biggest share. Farmers and farm workers, which are like in the bottom of this value chain.
When a volcanic eruption injects ash, dust and gases into the atmosphere, into the stratosphere, they form sulfate aerosols, which the Earth's rotation helps spread around the globe.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour and I'm Preeti. Let's take a look at other news now. India's gross domestic product, that is GDP, has grown at 7.8% on an annual basis in the last quarter of the financial year 2024. Going by the numbers, the centre estimates that the overall growth rate of financial year 24 to be ambitious 8.2%. The Ministry of Statistics and Programme Implementation data showed on Friday. Notably, the real gross value added, or the GVA, has been estimated to grow at 6.3% in the final quarter of the financial year 24. Ajay Mishra of DD India gets us more.
India's GDP, or the gross domestic product, for the January-March quarter of fiscal came in at 7.8%. This according to the data released by National Statistical Office on Friday, May 31st. The Indian economy, according to these figures, has shown promising growth by 8.2% for the full year, financial year 2024. The Reserve Bank of India, or the RBI, has had forecasted a 6.9% growth in real GDP for quarter 4, financial year 2024, with a full year projection of 7.6%. Lauding the numbers, experts believe India is inching towards becoming 35 trillion economy by the year 2034 at this pace.
In the current year, in 24-25, we are going to become the $4 trillion economy. And in 26-27, we will be $5 trillion economy. And by 2030, we will be $7 trillion economy. And we will be third largest economy by 2027. That is the anticipation. And as we move forward, our economy will be adding trillions of dollars in the 30s. And total anticipation is that we will become a $34 trillion economy by 2047.
Sources from the Finance Ministry tell DD India that India's GDP is well above any G7 or G20 country, particularly on an upward trajectory post-pandemic. The impact on big boost in private sector investments, with manufacturing sector recording a robust growth pegged at 9.9% for the year as a whole, has also been registered. In another significant development, the S&P Global Ratings has upgraded India's credit rating outlook from the stable to positive, citing policy stability, economic reforms and high infrastructure investment as key factors driving sustained long-term growth prospects. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has expressed happiness over the S&P's decision to upgrade India's sovereign rating nearly after 14 years.
Standard & Poor, the international rating agency, has upgraded India's sovereign rating from stable to positive after 14 years, largely due to the successful implementation of several measures over the last 10 years, where India has moved from a fragile 5 economy to the world's fastest growing large economy amongst the top 5 in the world.
Indian economy have once again emerged as the fastest growing economy in G7 and G20. But what is more important is the credibility behind these numbers. The fiscal deficit numbers are currently at 5.6%, which is very, very credible for the rating agencies to see. We also expect the inflation and the interest rate to cool down in the days to come. But what is most impressive is the manufacturing sector growth, which is at 9.9%, which has led to the employment generation in the country. With camera person SP Dubey, Ajay Mishra, DD India, New Delhi.
And up next, we turn focus to sports. Talking of Champions League, then 14 times winner Real Madrid will take on Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final on Saturday. Both the teams will look to outdo one another at the Wembley Stadium in London. Indian boxer Nishan Dev becomes the first Indian male to qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games on Friday. Dev secured the spot after defeating Moldova's Vezal Sebotari in men's 71 kg category in the World Olympic Boxing Qualification Tournament. The world is celebrating Milk Day today, with the theme focusing on the vital role dairy plays in delivering nutrition to the world. World Milk Day, established by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, has been observed across the world since its inception in 2001. World Milk Day is celebrated every year on 1st of June. This day is celebrated to bring the importance of milk as a global food to the forefront and promote dairy farming and dairy industry. India's prominence in the dairy sector is national and global. It ranks first in milk production. India contributes 25% to the world's total milk output. Over the last decade, India's milk production has grown by about 6% annually, reaching an impressive 231 million metric tons in 2022-23. This remarkable increase underscores the dynamic nature of India's dairy sector. With that, we end this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR codes on your screens to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.
After a grueling campaign, after exhausting polling spanning 7 phases, the stage is set for the counting day, the grand finale of the largest electoral exercise ever. DD India is all decked up and ready, counting of votes for India's general elections. Accurate and fast results, in-depth analysis with experts and reporters everywhere. Only on DD India, 4th June, 6 a.m. onwards.
The marriage between tech and tradition is what farmers need across the globe. Tech shows us ways to deal with new challenges in a world, while traditional knowledge and varieties show us how to withstand these challenges.
Some people in society look negatively at a woman if she steps outside of her home.
Do you know 700 different crop problems on 30 different crops. Diagnostic, that's tough for a human to do.
Big food manufacturers are getting like the biggest share. Farmers and farm workers, which are like in the bottom of this value chain.
When a volcanic eruption injects ash, dust and gases into the atmosphere, into the stratosphere, they form sulfate aerosols, which the Earth's rotation helps spread around the globe.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
Bahana number